three classes that you don't want to play, or three things that you don't want to play against as the freeze mage. You don't want to play against a control warrior above everything. That's like tier 1 of like you don't want to play against thing. And then tier 2 is druid / priest that has like shadow word pains and whatnot to destroy the doomsayers. Because if the priest and the druids keep their heals and they're able to continue to put on a lot of pressure, then there's nothing you can actually do other than stall. Not to mention that a couple of them sometimes run Lotheb.
Yeah.
So I think this is actually one of the worst matchups that the mage is looking for right now.
Okay. Well, that says it.
That's just that's from experience, I think. Just watching a lot of freeze mage, just seeing it crumble to druid pressure.
Crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just completely folds.
Yeah. And so we'll have to see. Again, that last matchup is a toss-up as well. So FlyBird should be feeling pretty confident about where the position of this best of 5 so far. But we've seen Amy do it before, where she goes on the ropes.
The freeze mage can still win.
It can still win, yeah.
It's just hard. It's very hard, especially if druid's just in tune with how to play against freeze mage. One of the most important things is keeping Ancient of Lore for post Alexstrasza. The second thing is if you have Lotheb in your hand, you absolutely keep it. Now, does FlyBird know that she's playing freeze mage?
He could have watched the matches
she did play it earlier, but maybe he didn't make the connection.
Or maybe FlyBird was napping.
He could be. I mean, it is a very long broadcast.
FlyBird is playing from Taiwan, and Magicamy is playing from Korea. So both of these players are well into the early morning. And it's starting to get late, even over here in Burbank. And we're starting to get tired after a long broadcast, so imagine the players who are halfway across the globe.
Yeah, it's like 7 a.m. over there. Important card number 1 is being drawn here, but I think you're still looking for Lotheb if you have it. Now, another thing that's going to be important too is whether or not Druid's armor builds up to the point where like if you Alexstrasza still has like 17 health and then you heal up with Ancient of Lore, then you're still out of range. The most damage you can do in one turn if you have Blood Mage Thalnos, a Fireball, Frostbolts, and 2 Ice Lances is 21 damage. So a lot of times you keep this in mind and you want to at least have like 2 armor, so that way when you heal yourself with an Ancient of Lore, you can't die to anything. There's just no possible way.
True. I think that Antonidas plays a big deal in this matchup, though, because it gives you that extra reach. Or even after you Alexstrasza, you have a little bit of extra burn to just go through some of those heals. It's really tough to play, though. Like this mage deck can be, especially against decks that are tougher.
Right. Freeze Mage is one of the hardest decks to play for sure.
Definitely.
It sometimes can play itself, depends on how things feel, but it definitely is on the trickier side of things.
And it can be frustrating to learn because the games are long, and when you lose, it's really demoralizing because you feel like there just wasn't much that you could do, even though there probably was. That's what makes it tough. It's hard to pinpoint where exactly you went wrong.
What do you do against double Spectre Knight? You need Frost Nova immediately, and not to mention that the Doomsayer still can get silenced. Whoa, man!
What does she need immediately there?
She needs Frost Nova.
Well, there it is.
And Frost Nova came. Now, the big question is, does her opponent have the Keeper of the Grove? And if so, by the way, do you hedge your bets by killing off like Shade of Naxxramas or killing off Spectrum Knight? I don't know. It's pretty tough. There's a lot of small, intricate decisions here. She's thinking about suiciding the Mad Scientist as well to try to get some secrets. So it's Ice Block and Ice Barrier for sure, and she's popping the ice. Excuse me, the Mad Scientist too, so she can guarantee get the draws. No Keeper of the Grove here, but FlyBird can choose to draw, or I guess Pilot Shredder if you want to go for your own thing.
I don't think you can really do much. Just
Do you pass?
hero power pass.
I think there's legitimacy to wrathing for 1 here.
Okay.
I actually don't mind hero powering, because hero powering still gets an armor onto you. Tossing away 1 Ancient of Lore is okay, because you still have 1 to heal, but it's still one of those things where you have to be careful.
Yeah. That's bold. That's
and now
body.
Amy gets to draw. This is a very powerful spot to be in. Oh, is she thinking about coining Antonidas? That'd be so ballsy. And a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah, I think you want to... Coin is a really great tool for Antonidas. Not to get him out, but for when he's out. That's an extra fireball. In a situation, especially when you're just laying him.
If she plays Arcane Intellect, it's actually dangerous to drop our Accolade of Pain because of the draws. Second Doomsayer, that's interesting. Does she play another Doomsayer here to disincentivize FlyBird from playing anything? Then next turn, she has 7 mana, she can drop... No, never mind. You can do it on turn 7, so that way you can coin out Alexstrasza the following turn. No, never mind. It's just like one of these things. I was thinking out loud, sorry. Stream of consciousness.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
I'm going to stop talking because I've been actually chatting a little bit too much. So
I learned a lot from your ramblings. I'm sure other people do as well, so...
all I'm trying to do is tap into the mind of the player.
Okay.
Wow, second Ancient of Lore being used here, and that immediately tells me that I don't think FlyBird is completely well-versed in this matchup. That's a very crucial card to keep onto because of Alexstrasza.
Either that or he just doesn't know what type of mage it exactly is, but you gotta know at this point. And, there was a chance for FlyBird to actually make Amy overdraw the following turn. But that's really risky in itself, because you're giving draws, and you don't necessarily know that the card that they're going to discard was an important one. Now, Mage is actually... Freeze Mage is actually one of the decks that milling has the best effect on, because a lot of the pieces that are in their deck are crucial. Like if he had burned in Alexstrasza, or even just like a piece like Ice Lance, or second Fireball, or second Frostball, or something like that, it would be a pretty big deal.
Okay, so this is actually a very smart play from Amy on a lot of levels. The first thing is that both Ancient of Lores has been used. So there's almost no healing remaining in the Druid deck. So when you Alexstrasza, the most that you'll be able to gain life is 1. Which means you're no longer seeking Extended Burst. All you have to do is guarantee to kill now that Ice Block is up. So when she has Alexstrasza and the burn, it doesn't matter if Antonidas dies. It's the fact that she already gotten 2 fireballs off of the coin Ice Lance. And the fact is, if Antonidas doesn't die, that's an additional bonus.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very smart play from Amy to convert the mana. The only thing that I don't like about it is that you don't Alexstrasza next turn. You Alexstrasza in 2 turns, which still gives a lot of room for some shenanigans of Druid to like pressure you and do some wild stuff.
And you still have to find a safe turn to play Alexstrasza.
Right.
Because there's an opportunity for a Druid, even with just a couple creatures on the board, to pop your Ice Block. And if they pop your Ice Block the turn before you Alexstrasza, it's not a safe turn. I don't think it's possible, but you never know. And he's okay with taking damage because he knows that Alexstrasza is going to come out eventually. So
starting to get to the point where there's almost enough burn to kill him without Alexstrasza. Oh, that's such a sick draw! Oh my goodness, you just use Cone of Cold and the Doomsayer immediately. Just pave the way for Alexstrasza. I think you even can... You don't have to draw anymore. I think you can kill off the Shade of Naxxramas. Because the Shade of Naxxramas is... What if your opponent silences the Doomsayer, the Shade of Naxxramas grows, and you're actually in a little bit of a trouble because you can't kill it off easily. You don't have Flame Strike. So I think you still ping off the Shade of Naxxramas here.
There's just not much else that you can do with that 2 mana. You already have all the pieces that you're going to need to win. So the only other thing you would do in that situation is like play a Loot Hoarder.
The Loot Hoarder is not necessary though. You have all the cards you need, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, yeah.
I mean, the Loot Hoarder's going to die too anyways from the draw. Okay. I guess it's... Oh, well, she actually can deal with the Doomsayer now.
and that becomes pretty scary. It plays into like Flame Strike really, really well. Like your board's just littered with 4 health creatures across, but
Yeah.
you can't really afford to give up that much.
Yeah, I think FlyBird also misread too, because now he doesn't even have an easy. Oh. Oh, he could kill the Doomsayer by double charging the Druid Claw. Oh man, FlyBird definitely dropped the ball in this game for sure. Like, I mean, it's you know, as commentators, it's so easy for us to talk about mistakes versus what's optimal, but in this scenario, there's almost there's just like nothing he can do here right now because he gave up his board one more time. That was his last chance, but here, like, nothing can happen anymore.
He might not have the experience because there's some things about the matchup where it's not like a read that you have to make to know.
It's true.
Like the saving the Ancient of Lore is just like general knowledge against the Freeze Mage. So.
Oh, FlyBird has played a lot of matchups correctly, especially when it comes to like his hand lock. But in this scenario, he's definitely just not playing suboptimally at all. He's gonna die very quickly here, and it doesn't even really matter. The Fireball allows him to push through, and then he has Fireball, Ice Lance.
I think he wins.
Yep.
Fireball, Frostbolt even.
Well, you just Fireball the 4/6, and then you push for the rest of the damage and you end the game. So that's a very quick game too, just because this matchup is very fast, usually with Druid either winning and pressuring, or Mage just overwhelming. But that was a matchup that I really thought FlyBird had a strong chance in, especially since he drew a lot of the cards he needed.
Yeah, there was a couple decisions that he made. It wasn't just that he was unfortunate or whatever the case may be. It was just that maybe not having the experience enough with the matchup, not making the decisions that he needed to come out on top. And
well, it's unfortunate that he didn't get any of his Keeper of the Groves to silence. That's also
that would have been a big swing.
It's an